Just thought I'd start off this video with Francis swimming in the pond today. Francie! Don't come and get me wet. Alright. So I just done our first video, and as I said, it's November, and it's warm today. I'm sweating. And just a few days ago, it was really cold. And then we had a rainstorm that you could stand out in and get wet, and it was fine because it felt good, because it was warm. November. So we've decided, I've decided, Matt does, the physical part of all of this. I do the rest. And in the year that we have been working with pigs, we have learned a lot. And we've wanted to do as much of this on our own as possible. We recently learned how to flip the pig, but it's been a process, and every single one of them is different. And I'm gonna, one of the questions that I see a lot, and one that came up this morning, was about housebreaking, potty training your pigs. And to be truthful, we've only had one that was a problem, and that was our very first pig. He was probably 6 weeks old when we got him, so we've got his birthday around Halloween, which is mine, so we share our birthday. He was about 6 weeks old when we got him, and he was going out very quickly. We thought, oh great, this is good news. He potty trained faster than the dogs. And then, we were in the moving process, and we got moved, and he was peeing all over the place, and we just didn't understand what the change was. And so got into doing a lot of research. I've raised farm pigs, but that's so different. You don't have to worry about when they're going to the bathroom. They're outside. Doing a lot of research and then a lot of adjusting on our own. And in our bathroom, we actually had a bedroom set up for him. He had a playpen that was his bed. The side was cut out so he could climb in when he was ready to go to bed. He had a litter box, his food, water, and some toys. So he used the litter box right off. We never had a problem with that. But if we let him out into the house, he was peeing all over the place, and a lot. And what we discovered is that piglets actually go through, some of them, not all, some of them go through using water, drinking, like they would a pacifier, like a baby would a pacifier. They drink to soothe themselves. And you read, on everything you read, they need to have complete access to water at all times, but for piglets, that's not true. When you've got piglets, sometimes you need to restrict their water. And so what we had started doing is he would get water we had a water bowl in there, and I was keeping it full. It was one of those gravity waters. So I took the top off, and what I started doing was I would pour water just in it and let him get some when he would get up in the morning. And then he would drink what he would, and then he would get his breakfast, and then, he would drink it there. I would watch and kind of see how much water he would need to get through breakfast. We took him outside about every hour, just like we would with the dogs. And so him having his own bedroom, that would help, because he's not going to pee in the floor or on his own stuff, I thought. But what we had learned was when they have full access to water, a lot of times they will pee without knowing it. They don't have full control of their bladders, and the more water they're putting in them, a lot of times they will pee while they're drinking and not even know they're doing it. So we started restricting his access. He would get water at meals, and then he would have full access to water when he was outside. But when he came in the house, he would get it at meals. And by about 6 months old, we had to stop restricting his water. He was no longer drinking it every chance he got. If I put out a 3-gallon deal of water in the morning, he would have it drank by the end of the day. So we started restricting his water, and then in about 6 months, his addiction to the water actually stopped. They will drink themselves silly if you let them. But his addiction had stopped, so we no longer had to restrict. Plus, we had a female we had brought in, and she never had that issue. So she was able to actually live in our closet full time without being locked up. And we never had messes. And he wanted to be out with her. And then we put the litter box just in by our toilet because that's where he preferred to go to the bathroom. And he doesn't even use, I would say, what's been about 2 months since he's even used his litter box at all. He goes to the bathroom outside now, but again, he knows how to restrict his own water. Not all piglets will do this. Like I said, we've got 8, and out of those, we've started 5 off as piglets. And our first female, we never had that issue with, and the babies all had a big kennel that they were in together, and they would go out first thing in the morning and then come back in to eat. So we didn't really have a whole lot of messes from them. But with Arnold, on the other hand, yeah, he would drink himself completely silly, and he would be drinking while he's peeing and couldn't figure out what was going on. So they do not need full access to water if this is an issue. They just like a baby, some of them need pacified. It's a coping mechanism. They will drink to pacify themselves, and so that's when you need to restrict their water, and you will learn with their feedings what's needed by putting the water in first, letting them get some before they eat, and then watching about how much they drink afterwards, and you'll realize how much they're going to need to get through those meals. So for the question of the day, how to handle with the potty training when you have one like that, it states that it takes them about up to 8 months before they're able to control their bladder, but we've had some that's not been an issue with at all. So it's just a matter of restricting the water for some of them. So that's the question for the day. Hope that helps you guys out, and have a blessed day.